My name is Grace Dagger, and I am the CEO of GD Events Group. We're a business based in Sydney, but service Australia and international wide, and we specialise in corporate event design and management. Before we started to work together, my business was not really generating a lot of leads or a lot of traction from any other source other than myself going to networking events and actually, speaking to people one-on-one. It's a bit of a long cycle to get somebody from a meeting stage to becoming a client. And I have a marketing background, but I was struggling to be able to implement my own skills into my own business, and I needed an outside person to give me more of a holistic approach. And that's where you came along, because one of my goals in the business was to try to merge from finding the work myself or finding the leads myself through physically going out to events and doing all of that, to have it flow through organically and with the use of social media and with the use of my website and with the use of all the other digital marketing components that we have as part of the business. I liked your vibe. And from somebody who has a little bit of, a history and background in marketing, the way in your approach to looking at the digital marketing space was something that aligned with me. I'm not someone who is new to the industry or new to the topic. It's something that's embedded into me, but I needed somebody to align with my train of thought so that we could get it done. And like I said, I needed to ease up my time in doing physical lead generation to getting it done more organically, even though this has taken a lot of time to get up and running. But now I know that we've got systems in place that can just make it flow naturally. And so we created a whole digital marketing strategy, and so which takes into account my social media campaigns and my social media outlook and even going into how we're wording things, how I'm coming across, what are my content pillars, what are we focusing on in promoting, and then using that and as an element of doing lead generation and lead magnet campaigns, which I'd never even thought would be something that I should be implementing in my own business. I knew that a lot of other people do it, but didn't actually think that it was something that would be worthwhile for myself. But now that I'm doing it, I can see how this is beneficial and how I can actually magnet new and warm leads to have an interest in my business and in what we do. I thought it would be not easier, because easier is not the word. I felt at the beginning that maybe it would just be an overflow. I didn't really know when I first started that it would be that in depth and I'd be learning so much. So it's actually taught me a lot more than what I expected that I was going to learn. Now, apparently I can do this, really well, because I've learned it the hard way. So I didn't think that I would be learning so much. The main positive change is that I'm now, when I look at how we were as a business, let's just say 4 months ago before I started this, and where we are now as a business in terms of a corporate business who's targeting corporate companies and speaking the language of the corporate world, I definitely feel like we are now playing in that game field much better than what we were 4 months ago. We have the strategies and even the terminology and the processes implemented that's just automatically taken us up to a different level of business and a different level of service. And so even though my business has been around for just under 10 years now, I really feel like we've stepped up in the game, and we can play on that playground very comfortably and very well, because we've grown up, I guess. I would want them to know that you are fantastic and that you are a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of advice, and that by working with you, they need to know and to expect that they're going to learn a lot along the way, not just a lot about marketing and about what you do in your output, but it's, like I said, it's the more holistic point of view. I've worked with a few marketing people in the past who have worked on social media campaigns for me, on SEO and Google And no one ever really looked at it from the bigger picture. No one really looked at my business as a whole. They only just focused on one element and didn't care about the rest of the pieces that went put together. So I know that you focus a lot on lead generation and lead magnets, but you're also looking at it from an entire overview, which is why I think we aligned, because when I'm a business owner and I'm a marketer, but I need to look at things from an overall perspective, rather than just focusing on one strategy or one tool that can make work and make it work and that can generate business. I have very, very big goals that I want to achieve, and I've got very, very big shoes that I need to fill, but the future hopefully looks very bright. It's been an interesting, and I'll have to say it's been a little bit of an emotional journey, because it's taken me to really down to the core point of, it's even actually made me try to figure out why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing and what my core purpose is and where I want to go. Because like I said, this is all to me, it needs to all be consistent. And if I can't relay that message properly, or if I don't understand the answer to that message, then there's no point in doing all of that. So the next step is changing the events industry as we know it, and changing the mentality of how people think of and approach events in Australia, and then starting to tap into the overseas market.